Am I the butthole for telling my friend to diaresis F off diaresis because she defended her homophobic boyfriend? My friend has made some questionable choices in her dating life. She has this fantasy that she can change them. Fortunately, I've never had to meet them, so I never really gave it a second thought. I mean, I've tried to advise her to stay away from them, but she never listened to me. I always excused her choices because she is constantly around people with similar beliefs, family friends, etc., and she has a lot of problems with her mental health. I have to admit that I have a soft spot for vulnerable people. It makes it easier for me to forgive them and stand up for them when things go south. But I have my limits as well. One day she mentioned her new boyfriend. She really wanted me to meet him. Some of our mutual friends were there, so I was like, why not? He, 18 male, is 3 years younger than her, 21 female, but my first impression of him was that he seemed very mature for his age. Let's call him M. I don't know, something about the way he talked and behaved, I guess. But then he said something diaresis, I can't be in the same room as your gay friend diaresis. Not sure what we were talking about, to be honest, but it was unexpected. I asked him to explain himself and his response made me so angry. M talked as if my friend is some kind of diaresis rapist diaresis, like he can't control himself around other men. Like he would force the first person he sees when he leaves the house to have sex with him. It was infuriating, but I didn't yell at him. I literally asked him questions. Diaresis, you've never met him, so why would you say that? Diaresis, why do you feel this way? Diaresis, and I kept pushing him to give me some answers. If you're going to sit there and insult my friend, then I want some kind of explanation. His face just got more and more red. I also kind of came out diaresis, I like girls. I can only assume that you don't trust me around your girlfriend now, do you? Diaresis, do you have to leave the house now? Obviously, you can't be around these awful homosexuals, diaresis. I was in the closet. There are a lot of homophobic people in my city, so the plan was to first leave this place, but I was so angry. I might have raised my voice too because my friends started to defend him. At this point, people were just getting involved, telling M to talk and telling me to shut up, so I left the room for a brief moment. I tried to calm down, but when I came back, he tried to come up with excuses. But it was pretty obvious that he was just trying to save face. He told me that it's okay if I'm lesbian, but it's not okay to be gay if you're man. Among other things. In the end, I told my friend, she's a terrible person, and then I kicked them out. I'm not sure if I overreacted, to be honest. I don't think I did anything wrong. Her boyfriend was talking badly about our mutual friend, which only makes it worse. She wouldn't defend our friend, and he was saying a lot of homophobic things. But everyone is telling me I'm in the wrong. We have talked about this after this incident, but she's still defending him. She's acting like she did nothing wrong, and everyone is telling me that I should apologize for overreacting? I don't know anymore. Did I do something wrong? Edit. Thank you for leaving a comment on my post. You're right, I really need to change some things. It's so hard to make friends, you know. There's a lot of racism and homophobia in my city. The problem is that they won't say anything in front of you. I've caught a lot of people doing it behind my back though. At this point, I don't know if I can trust anyone in my surroundings. It's very upsetting. And yes, I need to stop helping everyone. I'm a people pleaser, to be honest. I don't have the heart to walk away when I see someone struggling with something, cause no one helped me all those times when I was struggling with things. These people usually won't say anything, so in a way I kind of do it for them. But that gets me involved, and then I'll receive a lot of threats and whatnot. I honestly didn't think this would get so much attention. I really appreciate all the advice and encouragement. It's hard to stand alone, and for a brief moment, I kind of started questioning everything, which is why I'm here. I really needed this, thank you. Edit 2, there are a lot of people in my DMs ATM. I can't tell you why everyone decided to react that way. I wonder the same thing, to be honest. But I know a lot of people don't care about things if it doesn't affect them. And I've also met people who would say racist things about other people and then look at go diaresis, no offense, and me, you're different diaresis. So just because someone has 1 or 2 gay friends, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're an ally. If that makes any sense. Last edit, I feel the need to reply to this. It wasn't obvious for me that I did the right thing, to be honest. I've been surrounded by homophobic people my whole life. My family is extremely against the community. If they found out about my sexuality, I probably wouldn't be writing this right now. So my thoughts while typing this were all over the place. It might have been obvious to you that I'm not the but for me? Well, it's complicated. Thanks for everything. Not the butthole. Frankly, in a similar situation. I'm not gay, but I consider myself an ally, and the boyfriend is insulting someone who is my friend. Besides, I'd likely tell her that when she wants to disassociate from him, I'd be interested in being her friend again. TBH, I wouldn't. Op's friend is clearly attracted to this type of person, and it doesn't sound like that's going to change anytime soon, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. I just cut her out of my life. That's too much BS for me to care for. I had the same thought. If she's complicit in homophobia, she's a homophobe herself. Homophobia isn't outright I hate gay people, it's also defending those who are homophobic to keep the peace. If she's attracting these kinds of people frequently, I couldn't be around her either. Recently I was over visiting family and we were talking about the current racial political climate in America. My brother scoffs and says, yeah, it's not enough to not be racist yourself anymore. Now you need to be anti-racist too. Me and my wife just kind of looked at each other questioningly. Like, yeah, duh, why is that a bad thing? Edit. Thanks for the award/user Aprilis awesome Reddit link. The only thing needed for evil to triumph in this world is for good men to do nothing. Imagine hearing the word anti-racist and thinking, oh no, that's too far. Nailed it. This exactly. Agreed. Even if she's the most amazing friend in every other regard, the bottom line is that she comes with a whole load of drama as a package deal. I don't see a difference between bigots and bigot sympathizers, so F that noise, spare your blood pressure and get a new friend. You're right, there isn't a difference. People like that hide their bigotry behind a veneer of respectability and fake tolerance. Real tolerance cannot abide intolerance, it's antithetical to the belief that all people deserve basic respect and dignity. There are some people who just generate a ton of drama for no good reason, and the op's friend sounds like one. It's best to avoid people like that, as they just make everyone around them suffer. Exactly. Op, you have a soft spot for vulnerable people, as you say. Your gay mutual friend is actually vulnerable because of reactions like that awful, homophobic boyfriend, which reflects too many societies. Your friend with the homophobic boyfriend is only vulnerable insofar as she makes herself due to bad choices in men. I would limit contact with her and, frankly, everyone telling you to apologize is wrong. Stand your ground. Not the butthole. Original poster. I remember several years ago, Captain Awkward made a post that could be summed up as "Don't date Nazis." And honestly, I extend that to anyone with racist, sexist, or queerphobic ideologies. What does it say about a person who brushes off these kind of people? Either A. They're also bigots. B. They're pushovers. C. Both. I would ditch the friend op. She is not worth it. Totally, and well said. Op's friend is brushing it off, but also actively defending that behavior. I mean, if she has a fantasy of trying to change these men, which is definitely a fantasy, she should start by standing up for her gay mutual friend against her boyfriend's homophobia. And really, what does it matter if you kick them out? He was leaving anyway because of his beliefs. Hopefully the small-minded 18-year-old kid will learn something about himself and the world. I'm glad she was able to refrain from raping her friend on their way out too. His brain must be so confused how she was able to hold back. No, I'm not going to be interested in being friends with anyone who defends a homophobe. How do we know she won't still defend those beliefs if they break up? I was put in the same position when I was 17. I was the only one to defend the case. I'm not friends with any of those people anymore. That day was basically the beginning of the end of those friendships. Good luck. Original poster. When people feel safe in the norm, they'll act as if you're causing problems for sticking up against hate. If you need any comfort in these moments, perhaps go to that gay friend of yours. Give as many details as you think he could stomach, he'll appreciate knowing you have his back. Oh hell no. Friendship should not have conditional acceptance. If said friend wants to tolerate homophobia, then said friend can go hang out with homophobes. Not the butthole, and frankly, you may wish to reconsider your friendships. All the people saying that you should just be quiet in your own home when someone is vilifying your friend and you are not really people worth hanging on to. To everyone telling you that you overreacted, I would ask them why they're more comfortable with this virulent hate than they are with your refusal to allow it to be said unchallenged. I would make them answer for why the hateful boyfriend is the one they are bestowing their protection on and not you and your other gay friend who is being accused of heinous behaviors. And honestly, how is not alarming in the least he views male sexuality as would definitely rape object of attraction if given the chance? The kind of man who is homophobic because he thinks he's God's gift and men won't be able to resist him is also 99% of the time the kind of guy who is a misogynist and rape apologist, she was asking for it / men can't help themselves type comments. They only care now because they perceive themselves as being the recipient of unwanted attention. Those guys are almost always unattractive too. It shows their insecurity and terrible personality, even ignoring the homophobia. They're probably borderline narcissistic most of the time. Could be that his only experience with gay men are from TVE prison or the overly flamboyant portrayal. He just sounds like a young ignorant kid, still very wrong. I imagine some life experiences will alter his views in the next few years. Source: grew up in small whitewashed town. Saw this happen en masse to high schoolers who left town. So what you're saying is, you can't be trusted around women? Well, that's really all I need to hear. But apparently, lesbians are okay. I'm willing to guess it's because he sees them as an object to be fetishized. I was wondering that nobody else had picked up on this, and your username explains why you were the first to in my scrollings. Exactly, this women attracted to other women is hot because he can get off to it, while another dude being attracted to a dude isn't hot, so it's definitely never okay, while the lesbian thing, well, it's just hot, am I right? People can be gross sometimes. When I have friends talk to me about lesbian sex, especially when they are experimenting, I tell them to avoid Pornhub, and most porn sites, at all costs. It's all ridiculous and made for straight men to enjoy, completely unrealistic. Wait, you mean to tell me women don't actually F each other with high heel shoes they're wearing, and that almost no women who have sex with other women have those wild manicures? Just who's being unrealistic here? Porn, it's porn. I'm being sarcastic. Personally, I never understood why people would even think that using high heels as sex objects is remotely safe or sexy. I'd be too focused on what exactly those heels have stepped on to enjoy what's going on. Also, how the F are those porn stars comfortable with those long nails? Yikes, I'm cringing just imagining the pain. Honestly, it doesn't sound super believable that a group of young people who are friends with at least 2 openly gay people would be totally chill with hearing all that. I mean, it's possible I suppose, but I'm not sure I've ever seen a group of people that horrifically homophobic be friends with numerous gay people. According to the place she lives is extremely conservative. For years we had this silent pact like the military, it's okay to be gay but don't show it. Only recently support for gays has become more outspoken. It's possible that they handle it that way where original poster lives. Too many people have this idea that if you challenge people on things then you're just creating drama, you know how they are so it's your fault for reacting, people are allowed to have their own opinions so it's wrong to challenge even the most awful ones, etc. And they're in a pretty homophobic area, so while the main friend group isn't, they're probably used to it and conditioned not to challenge those that are. Not excusing the other friends as you should stand up to people like that, but that may be where the sentiment is coming from. Not every country is the same. Not everyone has the same standards as kids in LA or London or Paris. I'm guessing original poster is not from America, Canada, or Western Europe. Even then, I'd point out that Kyle Rittenhouse was 17 and from the USA. I'm guessing original poster is not from America, yeah. You may be giving way too much credit to America here. Even with your last sentence couching it, that's a very misinformed statement. Yay. There is still like half, might be a slight exaggeration, of the US that I'd be hesitant to walk down the street holding hands with my partner. Luckily, almost all of the cool places to visit here, and nearly all big cities, are perfectly fine. Hey, queer person here. America is frequently awful for us, which is quite sad. I live in the South so I see more of that stuff than people in bigger cities do, But I have loads of friends in big cities who are constantly being attacked and ostracized. There's also loads of stories of people being bullied or even killed in big cities where people assume everyone is super progressive. The US often loves to pretend it is more progressive than it is, but it has a lot of issues and bigotry across the board: racism, homophobia, transphobia, xenophobia, etc., has been on the rise across much of the country. Not disagreeing. When I lived in New Orleans, my friend had to have facial reconstructive surgery after a gay bashing incident. Just because I didn't include every conceivable point in my argument does not mean I am unaware of reality. But the poster's suggestion that this is an unbelievable scenario is a logical fallacy, and I'm hoping to get them to understand without beating them over the head. Really, hope my response did not feel aggressive or like me was beating you over the head. That was 100% not my intent. Just wanted to add on to what you said, so I'm very sorry if it came across as me trying to disagree and jump down your throat. So sorry. I am from the US and I grew up not knowing if anyone was LGBT in my grade. I don't blame my classmates because it was probably unsafe to be out. My best friend thought being LGBT is sinful. I am from a small town that is more conservative. Rural communities tend to be more homophobic, racist, etc. than the cities. And this seems to be a pattern in many countries, including the UK and Western Europe. It honestly wouldn't surprise me if original poster is from the States. You've never heard the "I'm not homophobic, I have a gay friend" excuse? People with gay friends can absolutely be homophobic, even if it's not overt. Additionally, original poster wasn't out to them, so as far as I can tell they only knew they had one token gay friend. Because those gay people are the okay exceptions, because they know them. But other gays are bad. Same reason the US had family of illegal immigrants voting for Orange O to get rid of the bad ones than had shocked Pikachu face. People are often bigoted against a general group, but not that individual that they know and are friends with, because that person is obviously different. Only one of them was openly gay. Original poster states that telling him she liked girls was her coming out for the first time. All this. And what were all these other friends doing when this guy was spouting off? They clearly don't have ops back. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.